I understand what you want. Yeah, you want higher prices for silver, for gold, and for precious metals mining stocks. But we need to do a lot more than just want. We need to examine the evidence. Is there a strong case? Are we heading into a new paradigm, a new era for the price of silver, gold, and precious metal mining stocks? Let's talk about 7 key factors that, if only just a few of them come together, a small confluence, we could see prices for the metals like we can only imagine. Let's start out by talking about the elephant in the room, the thing that nobody wants to talk about, the national debt. It's growing by the day, thanks to the fact that we have increased interest expense and deficits that are going through the roof. In the end, without any fancy analysis, we know that that will result in loss in value in the US dollar. And what does that mean for the price of the metals? The real value of silver and gold will continue to appreciate. What about permanent geopolitical change in the world right now? How do you feel about that? Because the reality is we have seen changes in the world geopolitical stage just over the last few years like we haven't seen over the last few decades. And these aren't temporary changes. These are permanent geopolitical changes. The world bifurcating, the Eastern countries, the BRICS countries, the BRICS plus countries working together like never before. And on top of that, those Eastern countries have a much deeper appreciation for silver and gold, and in the long run, that will result in more support for the silver price and gold price. What about just the fact alone that this year, right now, we have the gold price at all-time highs almost everywhere except the United States? What is that telling us? The strong dollar, quote unquote, has put a lid on the gold price and the silver price for the last few years. The dollar doesn't remain strong forever. The dollar, under the best of circumstances, is overvalued right now. Under the best of circumstances, over the last few decades, where the DXY index sits right now, it's only been this high over the last 40 years, maybe 10-15% of the time. And again, that's the dollar relative to a bunch of other cruddy currencies, things like the Japanese yen and the euro. What's another key component we can look at? China and India. Guys, combine their populations and you come up with 2.8 billion people. Growing middle class. They're part of that Eastern BRICS alliance. And both of those cultures love silver and gold. We know that last year, India imported 300 million ounces of silver. We know that Chinese, the world's #1 producer of gold, is also a major buyer of gold on the open market. They're sucking gold from the west to the east. And to make things even more interesting when we talk about the Chinese is the fact that they're now encouraging their citizens through their state-run television stations to actually buy silver. The world of silver and gold is changing like never before, but we're supposed to be talking about higher prices, right? Well, think about the components that I just talked about with you. One or two of them alone will provide strong support to the silver and gold price. But if we get a couple of them coming together, it can be even more cataclysmic. What about the Fed here in the United States? Most people, most analysts, the big financial service companies are all saying that the Fed is done raising rates. First Mining Gold is a development company advancing 2 of the largest gold projects in Canada. Springpole in Ontario and Duparquet, located in Quebec, each already has 5 million ounces of gold reserves, but exploration initiatives are underway at both projects to find even more gold.
First Mining is well-financed, has zero debt, and owns an interest in 4 additional Canadian gold development projects.
We're moving out of this period of time where the Fed could be hawkish. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. They've used all their real weapons, all their real ammo. All they have left now is talk. And with an economy that's showing serious signs of strain on many levels, employment, shipping data, everywhere we look, inflation actually coming down precipitously, which is a sign that the economy is slowing. The Fed is going to change their tune very soon, and when they do, and when the rest of the people, right? Remember, you're like 1 in 100, 1 in 200 people. When just a few more of the people start to wake up to what's going on and maybe decide, is it a good idea to own some silver and gold? It's going to be like an avalanche, a doubling or tripling of the number of people that are interested in the precious metals, and you're already going to have yours. And let's zoom in just for a second on your old friend silver. Likely one of your favorites. There is so much going on from a demand perspective for silver right now. And as we look into just the next 3 to 5 years, it truly is astounding. The green revolution and the amount of silver that it will require is going to upset the silver market like nothing we've ever seen. We have this COP28 meeting going on later this month in Dubai. They're talking about tripling the amount of installed green power generation capacity in the world. Last year alone, we know how much silver was used by the photovoltaic industry. This year, there's an estimate of 160 million ounces of silver to be used in solar panel manufacturing. The entire supply of silver for the year will only be 1 billion ounces, and some people think that the solar industry alone will consume up to 200 million ounces this year alone. Sure, you want higher silver and gold prices. You probably would like to see something happen like happened back in the 1970s here in the United States, where gold and silver had returns that would knock your socks off. But could we be moving into an environment, a decade, where we're going to have what happened in the 70s, stagflation, but we're going to have stagflation on steroids? To think about the returns, the price possibilities, measured in paper US dollars, sure. It's unbelievable where we could be heading. It's going to be a great ride. Look, when we talk about wanting higher prices for silver, for gold, we got to look at the big picture. We're trying to predict the future. When I look at it, when I see all the moving parts and try to see the forest through the trees, I see a big pot of gold on the other side of the forest. Hey, if you want to get your hands on some silver or gold right now, go check out our channel sponsor, Pimbex. Pimbex.com. They're an online bullion dealer. It's who I use when I want to buy silver. Throw them in the mix while you're out shopping around. Next time you're looking to get some silver, gold, or platinum, I think you'll find what I know. I trust them. They have great selection, and they always have the best prices. Hey, thanks for joining me here in the basement. It'd be great if you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 30,000 by year end, but most important, I just want you to come back. I want you to feel welcome here in the basement. We'll navigate these choppy waters of investing in the precious metal sector, and we'll do it together.